So it finally happened. It's here. Let's talk about it. Attack on Titan season finale has finally dropped. If you've been living under a rock, it dropped this weekend, and obviously it's on everyone's minds, and it's all anyone can talk about. And speaking from experience as someone who literally grew up with the anime and manga, first episode dropped in 2013. It's now been 10 years, and I'm now in my early 20s. And it was genuinely been an experience. It's been a wild ride, and yeah, it's finally come to a close in 2023. Quite frankly, I'm just glad that we got closure before GTA 6 came out, but hey, let's not throw stones before we get into it. So I know a lot of people are making videos on explaining the ending and what does all this imagery mean, and those people are probably true hardcore manga and anime beaters, and they definitely know their shit. This video is to talk about how the anime should have ended, because at the end of the day, it wasn't a one-for-one comparison throughout the entire anime. They've made artist decisions here and there, so they could have made different suggestions and different approaches to the anime that I think we all still would have loved and enjoyed, because hello, we have been waiting for this for 10 years. As long as it's good, I think we all would have been happy. So I have my top 3 things about the ending that I think definitely should have been included and definitely should have been changed. Number 1, Eren should be forced to stay and help humanity rebuild. The whole overarching point of the manga and the anime is that he has started the rumbling. Humanity is basically doomed. No one is safe. And I completely get that. But in the season finale, we learned that Eren deliberately did this because he wants to be seen and portrayed as a martyr, so that when Mikasa and Armin stop him, the world can see that the evil people of Paradis, who they think are evil and savages, are actually good people who helped stop this horrific incident. Now, that's all well and good. However, you are banking on the fact that the outside world is going to positively look at the fact that they stopped the rumbling and not look at it like, well, duh, that's your man's. Like, if your family friend or your family member went crazy at a function, you are obligated to stop them. They've had too much to drink, they're breakdancing too hard. Like, you have to be the one to stop them anyway. So they're really banking on the fact that humanity is going to be grateful and then see them as cool, instead of still be very upset that they caused this situation in the first place. So very huge gamble that it's not gonna pay off, dude. And then secondly, we learned from Eren himself that he has wiped out 80% of humanity, which, bro, that's a lot. I know mathematically he said, well, that's about the same number of aliens who also disappeared. So when he said that, I was like, I get it, but that's still 80% of planet Earth, bro. Like, that's a lot. I don't know if people are going to be happy that we saved 20%. Like, at some point you just gotta be like, damn, no, this is horrific. You know what I mean? And like, Eren just wanted to pose himself. Like, Eren has high grade main character energy. He was like, I'm gonna be the one to get rid of all the Titans, which, to be fair to him, he did. But now he's like, I'm gonna be the villain of the story, and it's up to you guys to stop me. And it's like, bro, you could stop yourself. You do realize this. Like, we don't have to go down this route. Like, you can stop yourself. And he's like, nah, you guys are gonna stop me. And it's not fair to anyone in this situation. And I think worse than that is the fact that Eren has now gone, and it's up to Armin, Mikasa, Reiner, and the whole gang to not just rebuild like Eldians in Paradis, but literally be ambassadors to the entire world, which arguably creating something is much harder than destroying. So Eren should have to sit his little hip down and clock in just like them at 9 a.m. and help build the world that he literally destroyed just to prove a point. Is the fact that it plays very well on stories of the same imagery and of the same lessons for humanity. If you've ever read Lord of the Flies, it's a very iconic book, and basically one of the key points in the story is young boys trying to battle between should we be savages or should we be orderly now that we're stuck on a deserted island. And ultimately they get rescued, which is great, but in present day there is literally a world war going on outside. And so there's so much irony in the fact that they were literally battling over being civilized versus being savage and inhumane, and they thought they were saved, but they were literally now going back to their homelands where there is a world war going on, and humans just repeat this constant cycle of violence towards each other, whether it's 13-year-old boys on a deserted island or whether it's grown men across the world. And so I quite like, from a literature perspective, the fact that the manga and the anime have an overarching story of humanity's violence against itself will never end. Humans have proven time and time again that they will constantly battle each other for thousands of eons, and that even in the end credit scene that we get in the season finale, there the city builds up and it looks really nice, and then there's violence, and it's like, so this didn't really solve anything. So yeah, Eren should be made to come back and be the one helping to rebuild. Bare minimum, he should be a titan in a wall, something. He should not just get to sleep. No, sir. You need to get on your Zoom and show up to work. 2. Mikasa should have got rid of that damn scarf. Now, I know it is a symbol of so many things throughout the past 10 years, but girl, you gotta let it go. First of all, the man is gone. The man is gone, and I completely understand if you need a few moments to heal and grieve. But the fact that at the end of the season finale, they show clearly an elderly woman with clearly the very iconic scarf in a grave means that she had this scarf for decades after around her neck. And literally even Eren himself, even if he didn't want to admit it, was like, I want her to move on. And like, she's no longer a fighter. She's moved on. And they tried to kind of hint at her moving on, where that dove kind of pulled at her scarf, and we were all like, had that dove really yanked that scarf off, I would have been like, yes, very good, awesome. Or had she placed the scarf at the gravestone, even more beautiful. But that little bird really should have yanked harder. That's all I needed, because yeah, we're supposed to be moving on from this, and she clearly has never moved on, even though, again, in the end credits scenes, which were really good, she's clearly with somebody else, she's clearly with other people, but there's that symbolism of that scarf around her neck till the day she died, and I was like, girl, get a new outfit. I need you in a new outfit. Like, oh my god. And then like the final end credit scene, seeing this like young person with a red scarf, obviously the fan theories are wild, and it'd be amazing if that was her scarf. Like even with that, had she not moved on and gotten rid of the scarf entirely, I would have loved if she had passed it down to one of her children or generations, if nothing else, just to show that she is done with that life. And if she wants to give that that energy and that passed on to her other children and bestow all that history upon them, cool. But I need my girl to move on, because Mikasa should be allowed to move on. And it would have been great if they did kind of like a girl power scene where she like really was confidently moving on, but I would have been happy with her crying and kind of reluctantly moving on and letting that damn scarf go, because it needs to go. The third and final critique and opinion that I think the anime should have diverged from the manga on is that Levi should have died in the season finale. Now I know, I get it. He is so many positive words. I can't even fit all of them into this episode. Like, he has been Bae for 10 years. He is an icon. He is OP. He is everything and anything we could ever want in a soldier. I completely hear you. As I'm sure many other people would literally die for Levi. I completely understand that. However, the whole purpose and part and point of the season finale was that we have ended an era, and it is now time for the future to be built, and for the people of Paradis and people of the world to come together and start anew. A really key element of this that can be seen early on in the anime is when Levi has to make the choice between saving Erwin and saving Armin, because they're both critically injured and they're both gonna die, and he has the choice to give one of them the colossal titan. And looked at Armin, who, let's be honest, been acting like a little bitch since 2013. He's always been a crybaby. He's always been hella stressed out. He's always gotten himself into problems. Even in this season finale, he had to be saved. But when it mattered at the 11th hour, he is always there, and he always comes up with a solution to save them. We'd prefer if it wasn't at the 11th hour, but the point is, he's there. And Levi saw that at the end of the day, his friends and his comrades are not going to see the future that is in Armin's eyes. The future that Eren, Mikasa, Armin, and every other person of the 113th Survey Corps is going to see. Just from the age alone, Levi and his friends are not going to see that future. That is for them to create and for them to press on with. And that is why he chose Armin, because he could see the same glimmer that he saw in Erwin's eyes in Armin, who is Levi, survive and literally be one of the last, I think he's the last remaining person of the OG Survey Corps. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it had concluded. You know what I mean? Now, should he have died in battle? Not necessarily. He is an Ackerman. He literally has plot armor on him. That means he is invincible. And I love that for him. But the fact that one of the end scenes is him just in a wheelchair, without an eye, just there, I'm like, why have y'all done this to my mans? Like, you guys have a new military. Give him a cushy military job and put him in a nice, sexy, well-decorated, like military outfit. You know, something. He undoubtedly deserves to be well decorated and celebrated for his success and his time in battle, even though he wouldn't want it. To just see him in a wheelchair, I was like, what's going on? And just giving out candy. I was like, this is not a suiting end for him at all. I was like, y'all either decorate him and let him passed away right then and there when he cried. And as painful as it would have been, as much as I would have been like, no, please, not him. Like, as much as I would have been like that, it would have fit the ending, because the whole point is that they are now moving on into the future, and the OG team who has helped them get there is now in the past. Very much on some Gurren Lagann type shit. which is painful, but you have to move on. And I think, I think those are my thoughts. I honestly, at the end of the day, it was the end of an era and it was amazing to watch. Honestly, I was glued to my screen the entire time and I didn't want to look away at a single moment. And it was so interesting and amazing to feel the rush of emotions that you felt when you first watched the series and when you first picked up the manga. It was amazing. Like, Attack on Titan is one of the first mangas like I chose to read because I was like, the anime is not enough, I need to get more of this. And it was amazing to see it come together into fruition and be animated. Like, that's why I love anime, because even if I've read the manga, I want to see this in person. I need to see what happens. So it was great. It was beautiful. A lot of imagery, a lot of fan theories, which has been amazing to see on the timelines. So yeah, drop a like if you like this, leave a comment, especially like any fan theories and stuff. I would say obviously spoilers again, like don't read the comments of this video in case people do write some stuff that's spoilery. But yeah, like, tell me your feelings on how you felt these past 10 years. Did the season finale live up to your expectation and live up to the hype after 10 years? I think that'd be very interesting to hear and see. Like I said, I started this literally as a teenager and now I'm in my early 20s. I'm sure there are people who watched this in their 20s who are now in their 30s. People who might have watched this at 10 who are now 20. Like, this literally spanned a decade, and that in and of itself is an amazing feat. And I am just so glad that there are very few times when the internet comes together in a positive way. And we might argue about our favorite characters, blah blah blah, but it's just been great. From 2013, when AOT cosplay was the biggest thing you could do, to all of us coming together to watch the season finale. Just amazing. Well done, guys. Like, we did it. The internet did it. We showed that we can be positive even when we're debating and not seeing eye to eye all the time. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Genuinely, I wanna, any theories you have, write them down in the comments below and tell me how you felt after this 10-year experience, because it has been a wild ride. So I've been Laz, and I will see you next Manga Monday, which I'm very excited about. So if you like new Manga Mondays, let me know. See you later.